Hello, my name is Frédéric, COO of Moravia Yachting, and I'm here with the fabulous Alan Walsh. We are talking art, we're talking yachts. It is the historic race weekend, but next week is Monaco Art Week.
Hi, my name is Alan Walsh. I'm a contemporary artist for Monaco, creating art with a playful elegance.
So here we are, Alan Walsh. I'd like to say welcome to the show, but this is not a daily show that we do.
It feels like it though, doesn't it?
We should keep it. It's quite cool. Yeah. So we are here in Maris. Thank you for joining us. And we're in, obviously, Monaco. We have the sound of V12s, V8s, and the era of historic, which is just downstairs. Do you like historic? Is this
amazing? Amazing, isn't it? To hear the sounds. For me, the liveries of the cars are so nostalgic, and what's inspired my work from a young boy watching Formula One and being around motorsport.
And I think they're doing parades this weekend. So we're in for a noisy weekend, which is not what you do. You do calm, you do collective, you do visual. You are in Monaco, you've been here since 2018?
2019. Yeah, my wife and I relocated from Australia. We had been coming here for the Grand Prix and exhibiting at the Grand Prix. My style of art is a lot of motor racing and Riviera themed. And it was just a natural progression for my career if we really want to progress. Since doing that, I think my art has evolved with being around the coastline, seeing the light that Monaco has to offer, the lifestyle, the boats, the harbour, the walks that you do from Monaco to Cap d'Ai, all that sort of stuff. When the Monet exhibition was on at the Grimaldi Forum, you walked around there and saw some of his work on the Riviera, and you look at the pink skies, and I always say to my wife, it's a Monet sky this morning. There's lots of things like that differ in the south of France to the rest of the world. And then we owned 2 galleries in Australia, and as I said, we were coming here for the Grand Prix, and we're like, okay, so we put into a good friend of ours, Shane, and he found me a gallery in Monaco, and we had 2 galleries from 2019 to 2024. We're still doing a lot of work for personal clients in Monaco.
Just to get back, when you moved into Monaco, is it an easy place to get into from an artist's standpoint?
So my background was advertising, and some of the brands that I'd worked for, my art celebrated Monaco. It was very automobile influenced, Riviera influenced, the glamour of the Grand Prix and that sort of stuff. So
you were a nice Monaco fit.
I think they thought I was an acceptable fit. Yeah.
But that's nice as well, because obviously Monaco can be protective.
I think it's impressive to see how Monaco Art Week has grown in the time that I've been here as well. You meet so many interesting people here from so many different walks of life, from sports people to businessmen to yacht brokers.
So if you go for a dinner and there's someone perhaps relatively famous, be it sporting here or whatever have you, the fact you're at that dinner, there's a huge trust circle here. You see a lot of people very often as well, randomly on the street bumping into. At
the time, I was really focused on the racing art. And it was like, if I want to be the top artist in Formula One, where is the best place to do that? In the Principalities, enriched with history. The racing stuff has become less for us, and it's become more the Monaco lifestyle.
Have you had to change what you're doing as an artist because Monaco's had that reflection point and it would only work here?
No, not necessarily. The only time stuff doesn't work is for different cultures and different religions, I guess. If you're going to go to Dubai, you probably don't want glasses of champagne and ladies in swimsuits. So you have to be very mindful of things like that with certain clients. I think one thing I've learned since I've been here is not taking on too many projects.
One thing I'm interested in is, I've been following your US expansion quite closely this year, especially New York is taking you by storm versus the other way around. There's obviously an amazing connection with Monaco, the US, the Grace Kelly eras of things. Important for you as a market, the US?
Absolutely, yeah. So we've moved to a new gallery now called Sorrel Sky, all looking really good. It's caught us a little bit by surprise how popular the art is over there. And they love coming to the Riviera. So all the stuff that they're wanting over there is, the beautiful lady on a European sports car.
Not only your resident Monaco artist, you've got that spin-off into the little, what I call sectors that are around Monaco. Cannes is as important as, so it's nice that you're also venturing into, and the French are appreciating what you're doing.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff for the Hotel Martinez and the Cannes Film Festival and stuff like that. We've done other stuff down in Saint-Tropez, down at the Polo Club, and bits and pieces like that. So all those things link into Monaco and the Riviera. You see a lot of the same faces, and people take their boat out for the day there.
And what about Italy? We're on the borderline. Is that just a very different market, very tricky?
The art's very popular with the Italians. They like the bold colours. They love their cars.
What has it been like for you to see your art, be it transitioning into yachting more so than perhaps in Australia? What is the concept? Because I go back to one more question. You're quite bold, so putting that on non-customization must be quite challenging, or not. And then vice versa, I would have thought your work goes into these, what I call, we're about to build a boat, we want the art to be part of that package. Just tell me a bit about how you and your art fit into yachting.
There's many different challenges that you've got. Not only is the boat moving, but you can have the moisture, the salt, you can have the sunlight, very harsh, if it's out on the water all day. So there's lots of variables that you have to change, whether you want UV glass on it to protect the painting. We've had requests from clients that they've got a divider that moves up and down in between dinner or separating the lounge. We've created for one client, some really thin perspex art that with UV protective perspex over the top of it, they go up and down in the divider. So it's not like these ones, for example.
It's not a pure glass screen divider or pure wood. You've actually got an artwork
a piece of art that's set into it, lightweight. So stuff like that we've done.
And if I sit on one side, I see a different art than if I sit on the other side?
Absolutely, yeah. So there's two different things. And this came as a total, the first time it happened, I was like, wow, oh my God. A client will say, okay, we'll send the tender out, come and have lunch on the boat, have a look around at what we're doing, and then give us your thoughts on what the art should be.
Is it that different that your paint would be different, your easels would be different depending on the boat and the problematics of light and, as you were talking, sea salt and all that sort of stuff?
No, not so much the painting. Most of the original works that we do will be, in the cabin and stuff. And you're talking the difference between a super yacht and some of the Fed ships and stuff that we've had the larger pieces. Most pieces are not as large as this on the boat that we've done. They're scaled down a little bit, and it may be somebody that's wanting to bring the positivity and the ambience of their lounge room, that they want it to feel a little bit like home from home.
Do you see replication? So meaning to say, can we have a replica because we want one on the boat, one at home? Do you get a bit of replication?
Yeah, we've had that. We've had clients wanting to create something similar, so it's not an exact replica of the piece, but it's something in this very same look and feel. So both are original pieces.
Obviously, the boat, if it's a commercial boat for charter, there's a lot of people who come on throughout the season, on and off, enjoying a nice holiday. Have you ever managed to get a bit of a on-water gallery?
I've had business cards that we've left, and referrals from whoever went on board and asked the family member who the artist was, and they've commissioned and said, "Oh, Mr. X, we were on his boat over the summer in the Riviera. Would you be interested in painting some of our pieces?" So we've had that.
Yeah. Monaco Art Week next week. I think you've noticed, and I've noticed, which is wonderfully constant, a lot of construction here.
Yeah.
A lot of expansion. Maritera, the recent one. Shaquille that we can see from here is going up. I mean, everywhere around Monaco, it's almost becoming a Hong Kong. But at the same time, we're seeing very new shapes and designs and buildings. And any of that reflected in your work in terms of as you go around Monaco going, interesting building, interesting design? Do you get a bit of inspiration from Monaco?
Yeah, certainly with architecture, yeah. And I think that the shapes of boats, buildings, all of that stuff inspires my work. And I think it all links in, If I'm honest, I'm more drawn to some of the old classics. Some of the wooden sailing boats. I just love the beauty and simplicity of them. But you cannot help but admire some of the modern craftsmanship that's...
well, they're pushing the boundaries. I think what's happening in our industry is you've got owners who are very experienced in yachting. So the boats are obviously getting larger. We can see that with all sorts of toys, but the expedition side of life is getting more interesting in terms of people going, right, enough of just going Mediterranean. We want to go and explore. So we're seeing even now in the chartering world. How close are you to some of our friends in the industry in terms of the designers of yachts? Do you sort of sit down as artistic design yachting and sort of bash ideas out and have some fun? Or
a lot of the owner doesn't just make the decision. They're led by what the interior designer wants and the look and feel. And so it took a little bit of getting used to for Em and I when we first came. Two interior designers will come to the meeting with you or be sat on the yacht while you're having a conversation to work.
But also don't forget, this is where the beauty of engineering comes into play. It's not a house. And sometimes, the majority of times when we go on board in static ports. You got to remember, these things are out at sea, running off their own propulsions, their own energies, moving constantly in their own sort of way, shape or form. Engineering-wise, it's very impressive that you could have 16 baths, if there are all those baths on board at the same time, 2 tons of water in each of the baths. So unfortunately, sometimes even if the owner wants to do something, you do need the background sophistication to say that's a lovely idea. Is there a desire to sort of start working with the interior designers to say, hey, listen, if ever the art world doth come in, do they learn from you? You've got such colours and styles. Do they go, hang on a second, we were thinking this for the lounge?
Normally they come to us with a mood board and they'll say, look, a client loves your stuff in their house. We like these and these pieces on your website, but could you perhaps adapt them to, you know, that the yacht could, the owner's boat be on it, for example, in the background rather than one of your sailing boats? Can it be a silhouette to make it really bespoke for him? We've also done illustrations for people, so it's on their, you know, their tableware and bits and pieces embroidered into napkins, you know, little illustrations.
There must be a whole amount of synergies for you to, like you say, on napkins, the illustration of the boat and its little formality. Do you remember you once did very kindly for me a very quick one colour but beautifully done angle of a particular vessel that I was visiting? It can go in so many directions for you, no?
Yeah, we've had clients gift an illustration of the boat with you know, it might be the Monaco skyline sketched in, which actually, going back to what you were saying before, is forever changing. So that, yeah, things like that we do, just as small gifts. Yeah.
But you must have limitations. You must say, listen, as an artist, you know, I don't go left, right and centre for cash purposes. This is me. This is my look and feel. I thank you, but no thank you. You must be turning away a little bit in a nice way.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, and protect your brand and your integrity. That takes time, like you said before, about trust and people going for lunches and dinner and introducing you to people. You kind of have to play the long game and stick to your.
But also, I think you want to become recognisable. When you look at that, I don't see the signature on the bottom right. I'm getting to a stage of really recognising your work. When I see something and you've gone on certain magazines, and I'm starting to go, that's an Alan Walsh field.
I think I've got to that point in my career now where I'm happy and very comfortable. I think sometimes it just evolves naturally and you try some things that work and some things that don't work. Like you said before, it hasn't always worked, but you've got to learn from your mistakes and not try and take too much on.
Without yachting, without the sphere of what you sit in day to day, be it studio, be it coffees with whatever it is that gets this inspiration, would you be where you are today, do you think? Or has this yachting factor of Monaco helped?
I certainly think the yacht lifestyle adds to a lot of my work, and that really took my work to another level, as in, you know, like what you were seeing and the glamour side of stuff and being on board and experiencing that myself.
This is lifestyle. This represents in a nice way, not a tacky way.
Yep.
You're bringing out a tease. You're drawing people in. As we draw into yachting with the boats that we have and the way we film them and tease people to come and charter and whatever it may be in that regard, you're teasing as well. You're saying there's something out there.
Yeah, I think one of the big things that we both Em and I noticed when we moved here, everybody when they visit Monaco, they get dressed up in their best clothes, or Cannes or Saint-Tropez or whatever.
I always get grief for putting a tie on everything.
So, you know, they're stepping off these boats in beautiful dresses or beautiful swimsuits and whatever. So that style of arts has certainly evolved, and we've been pushing that more and more.
And how do you work with the competitions? Obviously, we as Moravia, we have competition here. There are other brokerage houses. People can go left, they can go right. There's a choice. You yourself, if I look at you in Monaco, is there anyone sort of doing something similar-ish? If there is, how do you bond? How do you connect? I
don't think there's anybody doing the same as what I'm doing, hand painting. People often try and replicate it with a digital illustrations. There's a lot of people going down the AI route now, which have, you know, just all of a sudden going, oh, there's a poster design or whatever. But you just got to be one step ahead of the game and keep evolving.
But I think we have that issue in yachting. So we have obviously an established brand, but there are some other people there trying to get into the game, trying to get a boat sold, trying to get it chartered. So they make an incredible website.
Yep.
Very impressive. And what I call the end client is drawn in, going, my good Lord, these guys know what they're doing. And it's only when they start digging a little bit and the offering doesn't quite come about. And, you know, and I go back to your work, the easel part, that's you, that's your hand, that's your uniqueness. The digital bit of copying and paste, tricky. How do you follow it? How do you put your hand up and go, that's my piece? You've derived it from me and everything else. This must be let's go down the easel road more than anything else because of its uniqueness?
We do a Monaco Grand Prix print, but we don't make prints of any of the original stuff.
Right.
And that for Monaco was, you know, people just want the original. Yeah. And that comes from trust as well, that they can trust the artist.
I mean, obviously from a gallery standpoint or from what we're doing here, people are able to see it. But you sometimes do pieces that you see, perhaps MCs, the client, maybe the transporter. That's it. It will never be seen by other eyes again. No,
look, we have to sign NDAs all the time. But we get flown to Switzerland to somebody's house or you know, out on a boat for the day. Some of these people have been, you know, my childhood heroes, and you're doing things like that. And all of a sudden, you know, they're the ones messaging you on WhatsApp. Oh, can you come and, you know, see this? Come and stay the night with me in Switzerland. I want to talk to you about commissioning work.
How do you balance? We're you know, we have brokers who help with sales and purchase. We have brokers on charter. They get quite close. they get close to the person who's chartering, they get close with the owner wanting to sell or wanting to buy. How do you distinguish this relationship?
No, those people sort of become friends that you might just go for a beer with now. They'll message and say, you know, I've got a friend who's in town. Why don't we all go for a beer together? I'd like to introduce you to him. So, you know, I'm very respectful that these people are also my clients. Yes, they've become friends, but I'm not messaging them going, oh, you want to come to the pub all the time? So you have to, have to be respectful. And I think because if you are like that, then your relationship blossoms and like I say, it's a trust.
Yeah. Where do you stand on, so obviously we're in Monaco. Monaco's getting very heavy with KYC, getting very heavy with know your clients and know your people and know who you're dealing with, please, and everything else that goes with it. In yachting, it's very severe. Do you have a KYC? Do you yourself go, hang on a second, can I just see who you are in terms of fitting in with?
Just for legalities, I have to have a copy of your ID now, and that can be a slightly...
your signature live on this particular piece of paper, please.
So I think anybody who's doing the right thing has no problem with showing you any of that.
How do you price your art? How do you, I mean, from an evolution standpoint, because you are now growing, do you kind of go, well, look, that was a good year last year, this sold for that, it's time to put it up a little bit. How do you price?
I guess it's a little bit of supply and demand, but generally we have a set sizes, set figures, but the more bespoke it needs to be, the prices can change.
So talk to me about these pieces. Obviously, on the left, we really are into yachting with the sailing side.
I think that the Colbert blue of the Riviera
amazing
is, for me, is one of the colours that I've started using since I've been here. You see the beautiful blues in the skies. This one's called Sailing in Harmony. So it's very light-hearted. It's happy. It's bringing positivity. So yellow is happy colours. The bit of pink in there and the orange. Whereas these ladies, they're a little bit different. That's onboard. They're at the Monaco Grand Prix. Nice. She's got her F1 VIP pass.
It's been a while since I've seen the head on the middle.
The little swim hats.
Yeah, I haven't seen that for a while. Is that coming back? Or is that you wanting it to come back?
It's me wanting to come back, I think. I the old Marlborough advertising as well, it's just a bit of hint of nostalgia.
Well, Al, I mean, I think, number one, thank you, because there is a link between your world and our world.
Thank you for having me.
Enjoy the weekend of craziness. Enjoy Monaco Art Week next week. Again, I think what's nice with our industry is we can have this collaboration.
Yeah.
There are touch points all over the place, from the designers that we work with, from the exteriors of yachts and the interiors of yachts. So Monaco is small, our industry is small. And I think it's nice that we're able to do this and have this and sit down and have a good, decent coffee that you haven't touched, by the way.
I have, it's empty.
Alan, thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.